What's happening, everybody? MG here, MG Covers, bringing you a brand new handicapping video. Should have made this video a long time ago, but here we are finally. The correct way to profit from parlays. Now, we've all been sort of infatuated and excited when we see someone post a big parlay hit, like a 16 parlay for, say, $50,000 or an 18 parlay for, say, 100 grand. But in reality, those are very, very, very difficult to hit. More like a, quote, lottery type situation where the odds are very, very slim. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the actual correct way to profit from parlays from a sports handicapper's perspective. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, first thing we need to do, we need to define what a parlay is. A parlay is a single sports wager that involves two or more teams winning. And the beauty of it, which I'm going to show you, is you're able to reduce your odds. And that's really what we're going to focus on, and specifically a two-team parlay. Because, again, you say, well, you know, I saw this guy hit a 5-team parlay, 6-team parlay. Yeah, but if you think about those of you that do this professionally or attempting to do it professionally, how many days have you had where you actually say a 5-0 day? Those days are very, very slim, right? Or even like a 4-0 day. It's just difficult. So my point is, if you played parlays every day, if you took your full card, whether it's a 3-team card, 4-team card, 5-team card, etc., and put it into a parlay, it would be rare. The payoff probably wouldn't be great enough to work to do that every day. And the point I'm making is that the more teams involved, the more difficult it is. So we're going to talk about the two-team parlay. All right, so let's look at some real-life examples. And we've done this in soccer. You can do this in other sports. It really suits well for soccer, for the simple reason that some of these teams do have an 80% chance of winning, even though there's high juice. Where if you look at NHL, I'm not sure I would recommend that, because even the best teams in NHL only win at a 60% margin. Same deal with baseball. You could possibly do this in, I would say, NBA, because some of those teams, your better teams, do win at, say, a 70 to 80% margin. So first example, this is from our power rankings. And if you're a coaching client and you haven't watched the latest video on how we're handicapping soccer, urge you to do that. We have had a lot of coaching clients had a lot of success with this. So how we read this is Juventus here, one of the best team in the Italy Series A. They are at a 13-point differential, which means that would indicate a play for us. Our line for that game is -171. SPAL at +247, and you can see that number out there is the totals. So this would indicate, hey, this is a play, because the way we handicap soccer, any team that has a double-digit point goal differential, which is what you're seeing in the green column, that means there's a very, very, very high chance that they're winning this game. However, when we actually look at the odds, you see down here that the odds are -205. So there's not a lot of value there. In fact, it's actually sort of what I call negative value, because the line we have is 171. If we play that, the line we would play would be -205. So in order to play this straight up, we would have to risk 2 units in order to win 1 unit, which is not a good wager. Okay? So we're kind of stuck here in this dilemma, right? All right, so normally this would be a no play just because the juice is too high. So let's look at another scenario. And all these games happen, I think this is from 2 weeks ago. Let's look at the Bundesliga League. We had Dortmund at a 22+ goal differential. Our line for Dortmund was -230, underdog at +490. And we look at the actual line from the sports book, same exact line, -214, 200, 225, 205, somewhere in there. So same type scenario. We have a little bit of value in this one. We have Dortmund at -230. The actual line is -205. So normally both of these matches would be no plays. However, I'm going to show you how to structure these in a parlay. All right, let's look at, before I show you the parlay, we're going to look at wagering this the traditional way and telling you why there is, I just did a story on this on Instagram. I had somebody send me a play that had 2 plays that were heavy juice, and we're going to talk about that. So let's say if you play them straight up. You play Juventus straight to minus 205, Dortmund minus 205. So you're having to lay let's just base it on $100. You're having to lay $410 just to win $200. So you're risking double what the payout is. You will go broke doing that in sports betting. So let's talk about the scenarios. There's 3 scenarios that can happen, right? Number 1, you go 0-2. So if you wager these 2 games straight up, you go 0-2. What happens? You're down 4 units. Actually, you would be down minus 4.1 units. Okay, not good. Hard to recover from a 4-unit day, minus 4-unit day. All right, if you go 1-1, what happens? You're still not going to win. You're going to be down 1 unit because let's say if Juventus would win, you win that. That's 1 unit. Dortmund would lose. -2 minus +1 is still -1. So the only scenario that works in this situation is you have to win both games. So if you win both matches, you're going to be up 2 units. But the biggest fault in this, in playing juice, is that very first bullet point there, 0-2 down 4 units. So playing traditional way, the worst case scenario, and how often does the worst case scenario happen in sports betting? Happens a lot. And I see this as a huge mistake with people in the sports betting business that are just starting out, is that the way they structure. They always think in terms of winning. You have to think in terms of what is the worst case scenario? What am I risking? Of course, if you win both games, you win 2 units, right? But you have to think in terms of, okay, what is the worst case scenario? If I lose both of these matches, I'm down 4 units. That's not good. And I would not recommend playing either of these games straight up. However, let's look at it, structure it into a parlay. Now, there's a lot of positives by doing it this way. If we play Juventus and Dortmund in a parlay, we're getting plus 121. We're getting dog money. Now, granted, they both have to win, but watch this. Let's say the worst case scenario happens. Both teams lay an egg. You lose both games, both matches. You're 0-2, but you're down how many units? 1 unit. And if you look up top, if you lose both matches, you're down 4 units. That is a huge difference and one of the biggest benefits to playing a parlay in this particular situation. If we go 1-1, we have to win both games, right? In order to profit, and we lose, we're still down 1 unit, the same as the straight wager. And then finally, if we win both units, we would be up 1.21 units. So the biggest benefit to playing a structure and a wager this way is the fact that you reduce your risk to just 1 unit. Losing 1 unit in a day is nothing. It's easy to recover from that. When you're down 4 units, very difficult. So again, you can use this for any sport. You can use it for baseball. You can use it for hockey. I would not recommend it really for, say, hockey, because I mentioned this. I'm not sure if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. NHL teams only win at a 60% margin. 60% of the time. Even the best teams, if you go look at the standings right now, there's probably no team that's winning at a 60% margin. So that's just too much risk in a parlay. I would like to, where soccer, Juventus and Dortmund, if you factor out minus 200, that comes in at about, I'm not sure what that is, maybe that's like right at 80% if you converted it to a money line. So I would rather play 2 teams that have an 80% chance of winning as opposed to 2 teams that both of those teams only have a 60% chance of winning. Now, you can also do this in NBA. NBA teams, of course, win at 70% margin as well. All right, so that's that. If you got any questions, let me know. And for those of you that are interested in subscribing, you can get all my plays, all sports, $49.95 a month. That includes Major League Baseball, which we're getting ready to start in another month, NHL, NBA, NCAA basketball, soccer. You can get those on the website, or we also send those to you Telegram the very second that I make the wager. And if you're interested in our coaching program, have a lot of success with this. You get access to all of our power rankings, which means all my lines for all sports, $29.95 a month. You get access to all of our coaching videos in the coaching video section. And there's links in the description box for both of those options. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, greatly appreciate if you do. If there's a video you would like to see in the future, post that in the comment section below. Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.